Good evening, everybody. Adequate notice of this meeting, as required by the Open Public Meetings Act, was provided through the posting, mailing, and filing of the annual notice of regularly scheduled meetings of the Town Council on December 12, 2023. The notice was on that date, posted on the bulletin board of the municipal building, provided to the Westfield Leader and the Star Ledger, and filed with the clerk of the town of Westfield. Ms. Lushy, may I have a roll call?
Mayor Brindle?
Here.
Councilmembers Hopkins?
Here.
Dardian?
Here.
Domagala?
Here.
Kiefer?
Here.
Saunders?
Here.
Armento?
Here.
Contract? Mackey?
Here.
Please rise for the invocation, which will be given by Councilman Dardia, and remain standing for the salute to the flag.
We gather to make decisions for our community. May we use only our best skills and judgment, keeping ourselves impartial and neutral as we consider the merits and pitfalls of each matter that is placed before us, and always act in accordance with what is best for our community and our fellow citizens.
A couple of quick comments, Mayor, just about road paving. We're getting to that season now. So the town's road paving program bid specs will be going out this month. And we hope to be awarding a contract to a vendor, likely the first meeting in June. And that's for roughly a little over 6 miles of roadway that we're doing. We're also waiting for the county to get back to us on the timing of the paving of particularly East Broad Street from Euclid to North Avenue outside, and that should be happening soon as well, probably in the month of June. Also, Elizabethtown Gas is been paving. They have 12 roads or sections of road already completed in 2 different grids, and they have about 12 miles of road they're doing this year. So that's 2 grids are done, and they're working on finishing up some other areas, and they'll be paving 2 probably starting next month in some other areas. So it's going to be a very, like we've said the past few years, pretty inconvenient process during the month of June, July, August, September, but a lot of paving. We expect about 7.7 miles of road between the town and the county, and another 12 miles of road or close to that from Elizabethtown Gas throughout the course of this year. So anyway, if you haven't, those residents that haven't are not yet on Nixle, please join that. We are trying to get updates out every morning from the police department, and also anyone that's planning to do upgrades to gas or a generator for your home. And if you go on the website and you see your road on the list, please call the engineering department as soon as possible, because once your road's paved, there's a 7-year moratorium on cutting it open unless it's an emergency. So anyway, that's a quick update on paving.
Great, thanks.
Sure.
Before we go into my remarks, we have several proclamations tonight, and so I'm going to have read two of them up here, and then the other 3 from the dais. So we are going to begin. I don't think so. I'm just going to do this quickly. I do want to acknowledge Liz Jeffrey, who organized all of this and is unfortunately not able to be here. And I want to give a shout out to our councilmen, Armento and Saunders, who are wearing their mental health shirts in appreciation. So I did want to acknowledge the efforts of the volunteers that worked last weekend for the Mental Health Awareness Walk, the Cakewalk, and the symposium and venue that was over at the YMCA Annex. In terms of, they had all kinds of vendors there promoting their mental health services. So, whereas mental health includes our emotional, psychological, and social well-being, it affects how we think, feel, and act. It also affects how we handle stress, relate to others, and make choices. And whereas mental health allows us to maintain relationships, take care of ourselves and our families, take care of our physical bodies, and respond and adapt to daily life changes. And whereas, despite its prevalence, mental health remains shrouded in stigma, preventing many from seeking help. And whereas, early intervention and access to quality care are crucial for managing mental health conditions and improving quality of life. And whereas, with early and effective treatment, those individuals with mental health conditions can recover and lead full, productive lives. And whereas, May is recognized nationally as Mental Health Awareness Month, providing an opportunity to raise awareness, combat stigma, and promote mental health resources. And whereas local resources are available to treat the disease of mental illness, so no resident needs to suffer alone or feel hopeless. And whereas each business, school, government agency, healthcare provider, organization, and citizen share the burden of mental health problems and have a responsibility to promote mental wellness and support prevention efforts. And whereas Ordinance 2174 established the Westfield Mental Health Council for the town of Westfield to promote the mental health and welfare of all Westfield residents. Now therefore I, Mayor Shelley Brindle, on behalf of the members of the Town Council, do hereby proclaim May of 2024 as Mental Health Awareness Month in the town of Westfield, and I call upon the citizens, government agencies, public and private institutions, businesses and schools in the town of Westfield to recommit our community to increase awareness and understanding of mental health, the steps our citizens can take to protect their mental health, and the need for appropriate and accessible services for all people with mental health conditions. And again, I do want to thank everybody on the Mental Health Council that have worked so tirelessly to advocate for mental health services in the state, in Westfield. And so now it's Emergency Medical Services Week. I see Trey and John. There you are. You want to come up for this? You can bring everybody up if you want. We'll do it on this side. Our wonderful members of the rescue squad. It's great to see you. Hey, Trey. So it's Emergency Medical Services Week. So whereas May 19th to 25th, 2024 marks the 50th anniversary of Emergency Medical Services Week, this year's theme is Honoring Our Past, Forging Our Future. And whereas the members of Emergency Medical Services teams are ready to provide life-saving care to those that need 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And whereas access to quality emergency care dramatically improves the survival and recovery rate of those who experience sudden illness or injury. And whereas emergency medical services has grown to fill a gap by providing important out-of-hospital care, including preventive medicine, follow-up care, and access to telemedicine. And whereas the emergency medical services system consists of first responders, emergency medical technicians, paramedics, emergency medical dispatchers, firefighters, police officers, educators, administrators, pre-hospital nurses, emergency nurses, physicians, trained members of the public, and other out-of-hospital medical care providers. And whereas the members of Emergency Medical Services team, whether career or volunteer, engage in thousands of hours of specialized training and continuing education to enhance their life-saving skills. And whereas it is appropriate to recognize the value and the accomplishments of emergency medical services provided by designating the Emergency Medical Services Week. Now therefore, I, Mayor Shelley Brindle, on behalf of the Town Council, do hereby proclaim May 19th to 2025 as Emergency Medical Services Week in the town of Westfield and encourage the community to recognize the contributions of our EMS professionals. And I hear you have an award or something to give out tonight, is that right?
Yes, Mayor Brindle, members of the council, members of the public, Chief Badaloro, I'd like to announce that for EMS Week, next week, Overlook Hospital is going to honor our member, Mr. Krish Rival, with the Overlook Hospital EMS Excellence Award next week. Krish is one of our most dedicated younger members, and we're able to do what we do 24/7 now in our 73rd year of service with great dedicated volunteer members such as Trey and fellow EMTs. And we're also able to do what we do through cooperation with the police department, Chief Badaloro, and the fire department, Chief Dwelks. So, thank you.
Congratulations. Very nice. All right, take a picture. Thank you for being here. Of course.
So I just want to make a quick comment. I was at the event a couple months ago with Councilman Habgood for the EMS services, and I found out a lot of information I didn't know. And the EMS is totally volunteer, and they do it out of the goodness of their heart. And it's free to this. It's a free service to the town. If you get transported, it doesn't cost you any money. So I think it's a very impressive service. They're staffed 24/7, and what I was told is that we're one of the largest in the state of New Jersey, and again, something Westfield should be proud of. So I thank you for your service.
Thank you. Okay, so we have a couple more. And it's also National Public Works Week. And I do want to, Craig is over there, I want to acknowledge our incredible DPW Director, Craig Gibbons. Whereas public works professionals focus on infrastructure, facilities, and services that are of vital importance to sustainable and resilient communities and to the public health, high quality of life, and well-being of the people of the town of Westfield. And whereas these infrastructure, facilities, and services could not be provided without the dedicated efforts of public works professionals who are engineers, managers, and employees at all levels of government and the private sector, who are responsible for rebuilding, improving, and protecting our transportation, water supply, water treatment, and solid waste systems, public buildings, and other structures and facilities essential for our citizens. And whereas it is in the public interest for the citizens, civic leaders, and children in the town of Westfield to gain knowledge of and maintain an ongoing interest and understanding of the importance of public works and public works programs. And whereas advancing quality of life for all, the theme for 2024, marks the 64th Annual National Public Works Week sponsored by the American Public Works Association. Now therefore be it proclaimed that I, Mayor Shelley Brindle, along with the members of the Town Council, do hereby designate the week of May 19th to 25th as National Public Works Week in the town of Westfield, and I urge all citizens to pay tribute to our public works professionals to recognize the substantial contributions they make to protecting our health, safety, and advancing quality of life for all. So, thank you, Craig, and to your whole department for all you do. Okay, it's also Building Safety Month. We got a lot going on. Jim, are you representing the Buildings Department today? Okay. Whereas the town of Westfield is committed to recognizing that our growth and strength depends on the safety and essential role our homes, buildings, and infrastructure play, both in everyday life and when disasters strike. And whereas our confidence in the resilience of these buildings that make up our community is achieved through the devotion of vigilant guardians, building safety and fire prevention officials, architects, engineers, builders, tradespeople, design professionals, laborers, plumbers, and others in the construction industry who work year-round to ensure the safe construction of buildings. And whereas these guardians are dedicated members of the International Code Council, a nonprofit that brings together local, state, territorial, tribal, and federal officials who are experts in the built environment to create and implement the highest quality codes to protect us in the buildings where we live, learn, work, and play. And whereas these modern building codes include safeguards to protect the public from hazards such as hurricanes, snowstorms, tornadoes, wildland fires, floods, and earthquakes. And whereas Building Safety Month is sponsored by the International Code Council to remind the public about the critical role of our community's largely unknown protectors of public safety, our local code officials, who assure us of safe, sustainable, and affordable buildings that are essential to our prosperity. And whereas Mission Possible, the theme for Building Safety Month 2024, encourages us all to raise awareness about building safety on a personal, local, and global scale. And whereas each year in observance of Building Safety Month, people all over the world are asked to consider the commitment to improve building safety, resilience, and economic investment at home and in the community, and to acknowledge the essential service provided to all of us by local and state building departments, fire prevention bureaus, and federal agencies in protecting lives and property. Now therefore be it proclaimed that I, Mayor Shelley Brindle, along with the members of the Town Council, hereby recognizes the essential role of the Westfield Building Code and fire prevention professionals in protecting our community. Be it further proclaimed that the month of May 2024 be designated as Building Safety Month in the town of Westfield. And I do want to shout out for Frank Fuoso. We do have an unbelievable buildings department, and safety is always number one, and they are no joke, and every developer that works in our town knows it. So
I'm not representing the building department, but just want to say thank you, Mayor. But I also want to say, again, the Fire Prevention Bureau is an integral part of that, and they work very well together. So Chief Delks and the Fire Prevention Bureau with Captain Bacola and Carla Kelber are a really integral part of that. And when storms happen, when a fire happens in a house, when weird things happen to houses, they're called at 2, 3, 4 in the morning. They have to come out and assess that home for safety for the residents. That's just small examples of it, but we really have a great team there between fire and building, which is great. So thank you.
Great. And the last one is National Bike Month, and I do acknowledge Paul's. Where's Paul? Hi, Paul Persian from our bike board is here, so thank you very much for being here tonight. And I want to acknowledge Mike Dardia, too, who's on the bike board liaison. Whereas, since 1956, May has been recognized as National Bike Month, sponsored by the League of American Bicyclists. And whereas the bicycle is a viable and environmentally sound form of transportation and an excellent form of recreation. And whereas creating bicycle-friendly communities has been shown to improve residents' health, well-being, and quality of life, and boost community spirit, improve traffic flow, and reduce pollution. And whereas educating bicyclists and motorcyclists as to the proper and safe operation of their vehicles is paramount to ensuring the safety and comfort of all roadway users. And whereas, through the efforts of the Westfield Bicycle Advisory Board, our police and public works departments, the town of Westfield has installed 25 Share the Road signs throughout town this year, reminding motorists and bicyclists to share the road responsibly. And whereas, on June 14, 2024, Washington Elementary School will host a Safe Bike Skills and Community Ride with the Westfield Police Department, Westfield Bicycle Advisory Board, Brakes, and Easy Ride, where students will learn about traffic laws and practice skills they need to know to stay safe while riding their bikes. And whereas the 3rd annual Tour de Westfield will take place on Sunday, September 8th, an exciting event with activities for all residents. And whereas residents and visitors alike are encouraged to use one of 2 bike oases installed in downtown Westfield, where they can find bike racks, benches, a water bottle filler, and bike tool repair kit. Now therefore, I, Mayor Shelley Brindle, along with the members of the Town Council, do hereby proclaim May 24 as Bike Month in the town of Westfield. Thank you, Paul, and to the entire Bicycle Advisory Board. Okay, I think it's a very active proclaimed month in May. Okay, and in case you wanted to hear more from me, I'm just want to give you guys a little bit of an update of things that are happening before we get into tonight's agenda. I don't know if you've noticed all the new businesses opening in town. It's pretty crazy, the number of ribbon cuttings, which is a very exciting time for our downtown. Since our last council meeting, yes, you guys can leave. We won't be insulted at all. You AP students, unfortunately, I think have to stay. But since we last met just a couple weeks ago, Faherty celebrated its grand opening in the former Williams-Sonoma space. I was in there the other day. They said business is unbelievable. And then on Saturday, Councilman Mackey and I attended the official grand opening of Brasway Italia, which is next to Fortis Coffee and part of the old Wolfgang Bakery space. It offers high-quality, affordable fashion jewelry for both women and men. It's headquartered in Italy, and it is the first store, it's only their 2nd U.S. location after the Grand Canal Shops and the Venetian Resort in Las Vegas. So we are in very good company, and it's a great gifting store too, so I encourage everybody to go by. And I was very fortunate, coincidentally, to get a sneak peek and taste of the new taqueria that opened in town. It just physically, I think, literally opened yesterday. Taco Dojo Taqueria, which is in the former Inspiration Roll space. I think it officially opened today. Their soft opening hours are Tuesday through Sunday, 11 to 9:30. I can tell you it was fantastic. My little taste of it was. And then lastly, very exciting for the community members with young kids, Small Town Play Cafe is going to be opening soon at 278 North Avenue, right next to the former Nagoya space in that Walgreens shopping center, if you know where that is. It's a custom designed play space for ages 6 months to 6 years. It features a cafe. I think Kirschenbaum is providing them their baked goods, and it'll have open play, parties, and special events. So parents can go enjoy a cup of coffee, their kids can play. It's really very ideal. And coming up very quickly upon us is Memorial Day, and our annual Memorial Day Parade is going to be on Monday, May 27th. Once again, it's led by the Martin Wahlberg American Legion Post 3. We are assisting the Legion by collecting parade participant information on our website. So if you have a group, and I hope you do, please, you can register on our website, and the last date to register is Wednesday, May 22nd. And as similar to last year, it begins at 10 a.m. with the traditional remembrance ceremony at Memorial Plaza, and then it proceeds down East Broad Street, turns left on North Euclid, and ends in Mindawaskan Park, where all the members of the public are invited. And then the police department will be escorting veterans up to Fairview Cemetery for their annual solemn service. And then the Legion is going to be hosting their annual event, barbecue with music and entertainment in the afternoon. And once again, the Westfield Veterans Banner program is up, which we'll be displaying the next round of banners recognizing our veterans and active duty military personnel, and they will be displayed on those banners throughout those locations from Memorial Day through Veterans Day in partnership with the Westfield Veterans Fund, which is a locally established nonprofit. And then tonight, on our agenda, we do have some very important items this evening. Most of them are kind of exciting, focusing on key areas of investment that we've identified. So after our budgets have been adopted, the fun part is actually now putting them to work. And so a few things that are happening tonight on the agenda that we will be voting on: a down payment for the previously approved contract to purchase the home on 1037 Central Avenue, next to Firehouse Number 2, so that we can expand that firehouse to become the main firehouse. Purchase of bulletproof vests for the police department. The purchase installation of new equipment for the Memorial Park Playground, which will make it fully ADA compliant and accessible to all. Senior transportation services. Purchase of 4 Department of Public Works pickup trucks and 2 Mason dump trucks, all of which were funded out of the capital budget. We're also going to hear an ordinance on first reading for the use of the Capital Improvements Fund to enable our investment in the following areas: an upgrade to our parking assessment equipment and technology to automate a lot of online permitting and purchasing of like employee permits and so forth. Resurfacing the tennis courts at Tamaulipas, equipment for athletic field maintenance, an engineering phase for stream cleaning of a portion of the Robinson's Branch tributary of the Rahway River, planning and design phase for improvements to Tamaulipas Park, and design phase for the installation of above-ground fuel tank system at DPW. And this is a fully funding ordinance, meaning that no debt service is generated from this authorization. It's been fully funded by the budget. And then from the Code Review and Town Property Committee, I know Councilman Contract isn't here, there's going to be an ordinance on first reading to allow for ground floor office uses in the Central Business District at very specific locations on the fringe of the town, as recommended in the town's master plan. So in our core CBD currently, our zoning requires a concentration of retail sales and services, restaurants, and personal services using to occupy ground floor tenant spaces. But outside of the core, which we call the fringes of that, we will now allow for a variety of office types on the ground floor, including offices with high rates of visitation, such as physical therapist offices and the like. So in order to bring additional visitors from both inside and outside of Westfield and to really evolve and create some more flexibility in our downtown zoning to allow our property owners to just kind of adapt to the changing times. And some of those properties aren't really, in terms of their configurations, don't really lend themselves to traditional retail storefronts. Places like physical therapy and things seem to be better suited. This follows a similar amendment that was done in 2017 that allowed for ground floor offices on North and South Avenues. So this is just an introduction tonight. It then goes to the planning board for review, and then at the next, in the council meeting in June, there'll be a public hearing and a vote on adoption. And then there's also an ordinance tonight on first reading that puts us in compliance with the new state law required for tree removals. We've had tree ordinance for decades, but we've actually been, I think, a bit ahead of the curve. But the state is now requiring that every municipality have tree removal and replanting requirements. And so essentially this is going to put us in line with what the state requires, and in some instances our ordinance is actually more stringent than what the state is requiring. And lastly, 2 ordinances on second reading from the Public Safety Committee. It's adding a handicap space on Summit Avenue at the request of a resident in need, and establishes a no parking area on Grove Street, which allows for a proper line of sight when exiting a driveway, and Again, this an ordinance that puts the town in compliance with the new state law for required lead inspections for rental properties. So hopefully you're done hearing from me most of the night tonight. So we are going to get to the agenda. Ms. Lawshe, are there any advertised hearings?
Yes, Mayor, there are 2 advertised hearings. First is for General Ordinance 2024-09, an ordinance to amend the Code of the Town of Westfield, Chapter 13. Anyone wishing to be heard on General Ordinance 2024-09, please come to the microphone and state your name and address for the record. Seeing no one, Mayor, you may close the hearing.
This hearing is closed.
Next is General Ordinance 2024-10, an ordinance to amend the Code of the Town of Westfield, Chapter 11, Fire Protection, Article 3, Fire Prevention Code to amend and supplement with a new section for lead-based paint inspections. Anyone wishing to be heard on General Ordinance 2024-10, please come to the microphone, state your name and address for the record. Seeing no one, Mayor, you may close the hearing.
This hearing is closed. Councilman Dardia, please move the adoption of General Ordinance number 2024-09.
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to move for the adoption of General Ordinance number 2024-09, an ordinance to amend the Code of the Town of Westfield, Chapter 13.
May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Mackey. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Councilmembers Hapgood,
Yes.
Daria,
Yes.
Delmagala,
Yes.
Kiefer,
Yes.
Saunders,
Yes.
Armento,
Yes.
Mackey, Mayor Brindle.
Yes, this motion is carried. Councilman Mackey, please move the adoption of General Ordinance 24-10.
I would like to move for the adoption of General Ordinance Number 2024-10, an ordinance to amend the Code of the Town of Westfield, Chapter 11, Fire Protection, Article 3, Fire Prevention Code, to amend and supplement with a new section for lead-based paint inspections.
May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Saunders. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Councilmembers Hapgood,
Yes.
Dardia,
Yes.
Delmagala,
Yes.
Kiefer,
Yes.
Saunders,
Yes.
Armento,
Yes.
Mackey,
Yes.
Mayor Brindle.
Yes, this motion is carried. May I have a motion to approve the minutes from the Town Council Conference and regular meetings of April 30th, 2024?
So moved.
By Councilman Mackey, second.
Second.
Second by Councilman Dardia. All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? This motion is carried. Now is time for open discussion by citizens. Anyone may come up to the microphone and speak to the council on any subject on which we have jurisdiction. Please state your name and address for the record, and please limit your comments to 5 minutes. Nobody? Hearing none, I close this portion of the meeting and move to bills and claims. Councilman Hapgood.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to move bills and claims in the amount of $357,092.36.
May I have a second?
Second.
By Councilman Damagala. Any discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? This motion is carried. Next on the agenda is reports of standing committees, beginning with the Finance Policy Committee. Councilman Hapgood.
Thank you again, Mayor. I have 11 resolutions that I'd like to move as a package, but before I do that, I just wanted to say this is an exciting meeting. As the mayor mentioned, we have our municipal budget approved, we have our capital budget approved, and now we get on to the process of spending the money. But it's very rare that we have an evening when we are inserting 5 new line items of revenue into the budget, and this all comes from receipt of grants for important things like the Memorial Playground and services for seniors, and so we're really excited to be implementing these things. The mayor went through a number of things that we're going to, be implementing in a ordinance that we'll start the approval of tonight as well. So here we go on a long list of resolutions for tonight. First, a resolution authorizing the CFO to refund Recreation Department fees. Second, a resolution authorizing the CFO to draw a warrant for dog licenses for April 2024. Third, a resolution authorizing the CFO to draw a warrant for unused parking permit fee. 4, a resolution authorizing the CFO to draw a warrant for overpaid taxes. 5, a resolution authorizing the CFO to make a down payment for the acquisition of property. This is the property by the existing fire department, 1037 Central, that allows us to expand the firehouse. 6, a resolution to approve insertion of special item of revenue public health capacity. 7, a resolution to approve insertion of special item of revenue, bulletproof vest program. 8, a resolution to approve insertion of special item of revenue, Union County Kids Recreation Trust Fund. 9, a resolution to approve insertion of special item of revenue, Union County Infrastructure Program. 10, a resolution to approve insertion of special item of revenue, Community Block Development Grant. And 11, a resolution authorizing an award of contract for the purchase and installation of playground equipment at Memorial Park.
May I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Armento. Any discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? This motion is carried.
And last, I would like to move special ordinance number 2022-03 on first reading, a capital ordinance of the town of Westfield in the county of Union, New Jersey, and authorizing the making of various public improvements and acquisitions in, by, and for the town, appropriating therefore the sum of $635,000 and providing that such sum so appropriated shall be raised from the capital improvement fund of the town.
May I have a second? Second. Seconded by Councilman Dardia. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Councilmembers Hapgood,
Yes.
Dardia,
Yes.
Domagala,
Yes.
Kiefer,
Yes.
Saunders,
Yes.
Armento,
Yes.
Mackey,
Yes.
Mayor Brindle.
Yes, this motion has carried. Next is the Code Review and Town Property Committee. Councilman Mackey.
I have 2 resolutions I would like to move as a package. 1, resolution to approve peddler's license, and 2, resolution to approve children's amusement device license.
May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Domagala. Any discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? This motion is carried.
I would also like to move General Ordinance Number 2024-11 on first reading, an ordinance to amend the land use ordinance of the town of Westfield.
May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Armento. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Councilmembers Hapgood,
Yes.
Dardia,
Yes.
Domagala,
Yes.
Kiefer,
Yes.
Saunders,
Yes.
Armento,
Yes.
Mackey,
Yes.
Mayor Brindle.
Yes, this motion has carried.
Lastly, I would like to move General Ordinance Number 2024-12 on first reading, an ordinance to amend the code of the town of Westfield, Chapter 29A.
May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Saunders. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Councilmembers Hapgood,
Yes.
Dardia,
Yes.
Domagala,
Yes.
Kiefer,
Yes.
Saunders,
Yes.
Armento,
Yes.
Mackey,
Yes.
Mayor Brindle.
Yes, this motion has carried. Councilman Mackey, please move Public Works Committee resolutions.
I have 2 resolutions I would like to move as a package. 1, resolution authorizing the purchase of Department of Public Works vehicles, parentheses, pickup trucks. And 2, resolution authorizing the purchase of Department of Public Works vehicles, dump trucks.
May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Armento. Any discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? This motion is carried. And may I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
So move by Councilman Mackey, second.
Second.
Second by Councilman Kiefer, whoever take it. All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? This motion carried.